this video is practice to go along with the notes that we're covering graphing quadratic equations. So the notes left off at number 5, so we're going to just finish the rest of these up. So when we graph these, the best way to do these is to stick them in your calculator. And so number 6 here is negative x squared minus 4. And so from there, I can get a table. And so the axis of symmetry, if you do it by hand, is negative b divided by 2a. So here it would be, there's no b. And so when we divide by number, our axis of symmetry is going to be at 0. And then remember, to find your vertex, you plug back in here. So you would have negative 0 squared minus 4. So your vertex would be at 0, negative 4. And so if you stick it in your calculator, though, you've got this table of points that you can use. And so always in the middle of the table, I put my vertex. And that gives me kind of an even spread of numbers. And I just fill in values straight from my table here. And then once I have that, I can graph. So I know my vertex is at 0, negative 4. And then I can plot my other points. So negative 1, negative 5 is there. 1, negative 5 is there. And then negative 2, negative 8. And then 2, negative, sorry, that one should be there. And then I can draw my parabola in. And so the domain is going to be all real numbers. And the range is going to be from my vertex. So here my vertex is a maximum. So y has got to be less than or equal to negative 4. So on this one, so if we do negative b divided by 2a, I would have negative 8 divided by 2 times 2. And so I would get a negative 2 there. So that's my axis of symmetry. If I take this negative 2 and I plug it into the quadratic, I get a vertex at negative 2, comma negative 8. And so that's kind of my starting point. So I've got 2x squared plus 8x. And I don't really need to graph it. You can, though, so you can kind of see where your graph is. All right, so we're going to do negative 3, negative 4, negative 1, and 0. So again, I'm just filling in values straight off my table here. And so I know my vertex is at negative 2, negative 8. And then I can use negative 4, comma 0, and 0, comma 0. And I can graph my quadratic. So my domain is all real numbers. And then my range, so my vertex is my minimum here. So y has got to be greater than or equal to negative 8. All right, so if we use the calculator, negative x squared plus 4x plus 3, and we just look at the table. So what I'm looking for in the table is, well, let's get our axis of symmetry first. So negative b divided by 2a would be negative 4 divided by 2 times negative 1. So my axis of symmetry is going to be 2. My vertex is going to be at 2, comma 7. And so that's my starting point. And so again, fill in straight off your table. And then you can graph. So vertex is at 2, comma 7. And then we've got 0, 3, and then 4, 3. And so my domain is all real numbers, and my vertex is a maximum, so y has got to be less than or equal to 7. All right, so axis of symmetry, negative b divided by 2a. So here I would have a negative, negative 2. And so my axis of symmetry is going to be at x equals negative 1. My vertex is going to be at negative 1, positive 1. So negative x squared minus 2x. And so I'm going to have negative 2, negative 3, 0, and 1. All right, so there's my vertex. So I'm going to fill in. And then I can graph. So negative 1, positive 1, that's my vertex. And then negative 3, negative 3. And then 1, negative 3. And so my domain is all real numbers. And then my range, so my vertex is a maximum again. So y has got to be less than or equal to 1. So that's it for this video.